Nika says, I'm really shy and awkward when I go on dates. Any suggestions on how to not be this way? Yes, I have a lot of different suggestions on that. The first one is to, just do it a bunch, right? The more you do it, the less shy you're going to be, and the more you kind of step a little bit out of your comfort zone. Because I came from the same world, right? Naturally, I'm a super shy guy. Like, I grew up playing on computers. I was a computer nerd back in the day. And so I'm not naturally extrovert, Mr. Talkative, get into conversations kind of guy. I've literally spent over a decade of my life learning communication skills so that I can develop relationships, so that I can connect with people, so that I can do YouTube videos and Facebook Lives and, have a business like the one that I have and doing what I do. And so it can take time, right? You just want to step out of your comfort zone a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and just do things that you're afraid of. And it doesn't have to necessarily be on dates. Just go out and do things that you wouldn't normally do. One of the things that I did to really get over my shyness was I went, and this was back, although you can still do it today. Especially if you're, I can't really see your photo all that well, but it looks like you're a very pretty girl. And so if you go out and talk to guys, right? Just go out, and it doesn't even have to be guys. It could be anybody, right? When I first started doing this, I went to a mall and I would just walk around and I would ask people what time it was, right? Because I was so incredibly nervous. When I was in the military, I used to be in the military. And I came home from the Iraq War back in 2005, right? And I remember trying to approach women back in those days, and it was crazy. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, I was scared out of my mind. And it wasn't even like fear. It was like this anxious nervousness that would just overcome my body, and just it was so bad that it would make me sick. Like, I would get sick thinking about walking over and approaching a woman, physically ill. I would physically get sick and have to go to the bathroom, and if I thought about going over and talking to a girl. And so what I started doing was I would go to a mall and I would walk around and I would just ask people what time it was, and I would just get used to approaching people. And after a while, people started looking at me like I was this extrovert, because I would just go and do anything. I'd walk over and say something and go do this and talk about that, and like ask people directions. And people are like, wow, you're really courageous, and you are really great at talking to people and going up and walking up to people, strangers, and talking to them. And I'm like, I've literally practiced this. Like, this is a practice that I've gotten used to. Another thing that you can do if you don't want to go to that extreme level is you can just get comfortable, figure out what it is about it that makes you feel shy, right? And just come up with things, right? One way is to have pre-planned things that you talk about. So it could be questions, it could be stories that you have about your life, and you can practice these stories with friends that you know and people that you know, and ask people that you know questions, right? Just talk to people that you know, and then when you go on a date, you've already practiced it and you already know what it is, and so you can say it to a guy, and it's not that big of a deal anymore because you've spend some time practicing and memorizing and knowing exactly what it is that you're going to say. And knowing what you're going to say creates confidence, right? Because then you have what it is that you're going to say. And if you want a whole bunch of different things that you can say, actually, these are